Inside I heard the trumpets call, a salute to the champions on the wall. And in the jazz of squalls and in passion brawls she danced.
Hi, Mike the GM here. And I know we haven't talked for quite a while, but that's because the Dresden Files RPG, sometimes the Big Easy Ain't So Easy, has been going pretty smoothly. We finished up with our Dresden download and we're now in Season 2. However, you're going to notice on this week's episode that the video looks a little different. You can't see Darwin and you can't see me at all. And that's because we use a little GoPro 360 camera for most of our video work. Which is awesome. It's an amazing piece of technology when you remember to put it into 360-degree mode. Well, guess who forgot to do that? Me. So unfortunately, all we have for this week's episode is just normal video. Now you can see almost everyone, but next week, I promise I'll have us back in 360-degree mode and everything will be back to normal. Thanks for watching. We are. You were in the cabin with Captain Ron, driving the boat, and I believe you two are on the back of the boat. You were standing beside Volt, kind of seeing this happen.
And
yes.
who was it that
I'm going to continue eating the sandwich that I brought with me.
Staying in the back of the boat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said I'm at the front?
Who is that?
You were at the front. You were trying
Who
to
else
kind
was
of...
with me?
Bunk was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much
Well,
it.
I kneel because, I mean, because I'm a coward. And
Possibly with a guy who can summon fog and flatten like Pontchartrain might not be so cowardly, might be just prudent.
I mean...
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm going to fold my arms and say, and what does that mean?
That means get down on one knee.
Oh, and I get down.
So, Bunk kneels, and Agwe looks at you and says, finally, a white person who understands the way that a king should be treated.
Wow.
Amen.
And he looks very, very pointedly at you. Okay? You're on the front of the boat, right, where you can see, right?
Okay. I'm going to continue with my arms folded and flap my wings. Are my wings out? Did I go back?
No, you were your human form because you didn't want Captain Ron to know. You just stand there with your arms folded.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay there with my
Flex
arms
your pecs.
folded.
He actually has pecs that rival you. And he's not wearing a shirt, so you can really tell. So he
I'm
kind
just
of...
imagining this sudden pet contest.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're saying that, but as it's being said, like, Miranda there's like,
All right, I like this kind of contest. Right.
What's going on out here?
Agwe has seen you. He sees when you refuse to kneel. He goes, And he...
Can I see Bunk kneeling?
You do. You see him standing on the prow of the boat, way at the front, just kind of with his arms crossed. And you see Bunk kneeling, yeah.
What's there? And I'm like, you good, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a light.
Dude?
There's a light.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah. There's a bright light at the front of the boat. Looks like I don't know. I guess it could be a shorter boat than Captain Ron's old shrimper. But there's a light right on the water. Is what it is.
Okay.
You kind of lean over and look.
Yeah, I'll look.
All right. What you see is again the picture I showed you of Agwe. He's standing on a raft and he's got men on either side of him with poles kind of holding the raft in the water. The water is absolutely glass still, which does not happen. This is really weird. And of course the fog, it's weird. It's like you guys are in a patch of the fog that is clear and there's fog everywhere around you. And so he kind of looks over at the guys on either side and they pull the raft to the side of the boat. And they pull forward and they stop at the boat and he kind of tenses and leaps onto the boat. You see this guy come over the side of the boat and land very gracefully. And he looks at you.
3-point superhero landing?
Or? No,
right.
just literally.
Oh, wow.
I mean, not even 3-point. He didn't even crouch.
does it rock the boat?
Yeah. No, the boat does not rock.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that is a terrifying amount of control.
he looks at you and then promptly looks at the guy wearing the captain's hat and he says, I would ask for permission to come aboard, Captain, but it seems that would be a little late. And Captain Ron goes, who are you again? Because, And he looks at him and says, I am Agwe, Loa of the Waters. You are very fortunate to have a Loa of my stature on your boat. And so Captain Ron goes, sure, and looks a little puzzled.
So, Mr. Loa-ness,
You may rise.
my knees starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, right, you go, you may rise.
I 100% believe that Buck never turned.
Yeah.
He was facing the front ship, knelt down, the thing went around, came up, he's like, so, Mr. Loa.
That's exactly.
You may rise and address me.
So, Mr. Loa, Your
Agwe,
Highness,
please.
Agwe, what can we do for you?
It seems that one of you have destroyed a ward, or at least stopped a ward that I had put in place for a devout worshiper. And I want to know who has done this.
I'm gonna walk forward and say, that would be me.
He looks at you and he pins you with this stare and
I just
says,
do the blinky, blink, blinky.
he looks at you and says, then you owe me compensation.
Age.
Prove it.
Okay, you take 4 stress.
I'm dead.
No, you're not.
What? I was like,
Okay, 4 stress. So
Right.
that's physical.
Right. Well, it's a stress 4 strike. Right. So you still got your 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
What you feel is that all of a sudden you can't breathe because there's water in your lungs. Okay? What you guys notice is that she starts bubbling up water out of her mouth. And it's kind of this weird swampy looking water, like it might be Pontchartrain, which is really gross.
I punch him.
Okay,
Oh,
take swing at it. Take swing at it. All right,
Wait,
make
hold
a. Is it a fist check?
Yeah, fist check.
Okay.
The other 3 jump in the water.
All right, so I have a 6 total then.
Okay. He's standing there, and you step up and wham. Okay, and he does his head like this, and then he looks at you and says, "Not bad. My turn." And he rears back. Okay.
All right, I'm glad I saved my
Okay,
stress.
okay, okay.
Stay over.
Come on forward.
All right.
Come on forward. Oh, come on. What is that?
It's athletics, remember?
Oh, nil.
well,
Well, I can defend with fists.
Oh yeah, okay, that works.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
Or
gonna
yourself.
spin this
just not him.
to do.
for where's it at? I'm gonna add 2 to my roll to my
Okay.
total thing.
Which one? What are you tagging?
I'm gonna
or
use
what?
survival of the fittest.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And so I have an 8
Okay.
with that.
He swings at you and hits you, and it doesn't even cock your head to the side. And he kind of raises an eyebrow and he says,
I extend a hand.
He says, well, he doesn't put his hand out, but he says,
Okay.
you are obviously not a normal mortal. Or are you even mortal? And he kind of looks at you and he kind of looks intrigued. And
And
so
the rest of us are like, what?
Are you?
Jody-
Is Jody still choking on
well,
swamp
you
water?
get a chance to do something now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's still choking, but yes.
I think I'm going to just be like, hey, so that was impressive. All very impressive. I think we've all made our point. Can
Yes.
she not be drowning now and we talk?
Can we discuss compensation?
And he goes, fine. And immediately the water stops pouring out of your mouth. You're kind of a little concerned that it was Pontchartrain water in your lungs. You're like, gross.
I
Yeah.
probably got stuff worse than COVID going on
Right, yeah,
now.
it's terrible. And
At
he
least
says,
Liquor. Is there
Free
liquor
oil
to wash my
smell.
mouth with?
he says,
Can I wash my lungs with it? No, I'm just kidding.
compensation. I am not unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
Yeah.
What have you got?
We got some beer back there, and
Actually, he cocks an eye up and says, beer is...
I got a nice bottle of bourbon back there too.
And he looks at you and says, show me.
And I'll go back and I grab a bottle of.
The musician knows what to bribe with.
Yeah.
So you grab the bourbon. Now, which
Yeah.
bourbon is this, by the way?
Wild Turkey 101.
Okay. He looks at me and says, I am unfamiliar with this. And he puts his hand out, handing the bottle. And he takes a drink and he says,
Real chicken.
"Oh, that is very fine." And he says, "Paid in full." And he walks over to the side
Alcohol does everything.
and he says, "Well,
Wow.
since you have given me such a wonderful gift, I will tell you something about what you were doing here." And he's looking at the bottle. He hasn't even looked at any of y'all. He says, "Jean Lafitte was not a family man." And he jumps over the side, lands on the raft, and you notice the guys start pulling away from the boat. And they
So the treasure wasn't a happy home? I just yell.
and they head off into the mist, and then the fog just
You can't!
and you can see this everything, and you're like, what just happened
I just
here?
put my hand on your shoulder.
Happy home. See, we knew it was not the happy home.
So what are you gonna do?
It's like snipe hunt.
I say we get back to land as soon as possible because
Fog is gone.
well, it's like so.
You
Can we
guys are
still
not-
see? Can we still see the island?
The island,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
that's
guys maybe got when you turn around and look, you're maybe 100 feet from the island.
Okay.
You're not far
Do
from
you
it.
think we should go back?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Should we go back to the island?
The
now that
treasure's not on
treasure-
the island.
I don't
It was.
think
It's
it's
like
there.
national. What's Nicolas
Treasure.
Cage? National treasure.
Yeah.
That was just a clue
I
to
watched the
find
first
the
one to
person
research for
who
this.
has the treasure.
Yeah, the treasure's
where it
never
is.
at the first place you look. It's
So,
always
right.
a clue
what
that
was
leads
it
you to the next place.
Yes.
What was the
Next
clue?
place.
Yeah.
What was
Well,
the
the
clue?
treasure's always going to be the last
Thomas
place you look.
Lafitte.
If it was the first
He was
place, you would
buried
have the
there in
treasure, and it'd be the last
1992,
place
which
regardless.
means
Yeah, exactly.
So we had
That
to
there's
find the
still
most recent
Lafitte
relative.
people out there, unless Thomas Lafitte was the very last one, but we can check the public records and find out.
Well, if he
Right.
wasn't a
Someone been
family
buried
man,
out
that
there.
means he
Yeah.
could have started many children still.
Yeah.
He could have abandoned many children. Yeah. True.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
he
even
probably...
if he wasn't a family man, it doesn't mean his family can't be family.
Yeah. Well, you remember Abigail Lafitte was his wife that was kind of in New Orleans, but he had several other wives in other ports of call around the southeast because pirates.
So it's maybe possible that he wasn't even the person who put the protection spell on the place in the first place. It could have been Abigail or
Well, I bet it was Jean Lafitte. Maybe.
maybe
I
not.
have everybody to make an alertness check.
Oh no.
And some of the zombies appear
My alertness is low.
I'm rolling like usual tonight.
I've rolled zeros
Got 2.
all night tonight. I have a 2.
A -2?
4.
First roll, all blanks, 1.
Ooh.
I'm still coughing and struggling with it.
You guys are up on the front of the boat. You're coughing up water and feeling a lot better. You're thinking maybe there wasn't so much funk from Pontchartrain in your lungs as you thought. Maybe it was just in your throat or something. You're kind of checking on Captain Ron. Captain Ron's kind of like, who was that guy?
Got some holy
and
water
you're
if you want to.
definitely hiding behind the house
I
where
might look for some
you
more
drive the
water.
boat from.
Oh, yeah.
You're on the front of the boat and you hear
We need holy
I hear somebody coming.
Emerald,
Yeah, sounds like boats on their way.
some kind of boat.
Prepare to be boarded.
see
Yeah, I'm on
where
the
the
lookout.
sound was coming
Yeah,
from? Or...
you can see that there is a boat. Looks pretty low to the water. I don't know, maybe small boat. Got the green and the red light on the front, and this guy looks like he's got a spotlight, and he is definitely heading towards the island. If he sees you, he doesn't seem interested
Okay.
because he is definitely heading towards
I
the
want to
island.
go back because I bet this is who owns the spell.
What?
So
Don't
he's
you
going
think?
back
I
to the
mean,
island?
You
He's
know,
going to the island.
if you own a spell, you'd think if it goes down, you'd know, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
I just keep thinking about this. When we broke the thing,
The sigil.
Papa Legma showed up.
Mm-hmm. It was
Percy Lestrange or
No, it's
No.
Papa Legba.
It's
It's
right.
Papa
Legba.
Legba. Yeah,
He said
Yeah,
you need to go
you're
see
right.
Percy Lestrange.
that's right.
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 Mm-hmm.
But didn't he kind of make it seem like that was his doing? That little spot?
He did.
The one
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
house.
he was the one protecting it.
He did.
But it seems like this guy was the guy who had the dome over it that made it to where we couldn't see it or go there.
I
I
don't
think
remember messing with that, though.
Yeah, we didn't mess with those
we-
sigils.
I
You just got it
did.
down.
Yeah.
I
Percy
did
used
remember
the-
when I was got into the ley
The
lines and
ley
what was
lines and did
tainted.
the
Yeah.
full Galadriel.
That
on
was
the
when
front.
he was.
Yeah.
And
you
at
were-
this point,
Oh, I
Darwin's
think you were on
like,
the
Fair
phone.
enough.
Yeah.
Della, stop touching things.
Yeah. So
And
you see
then
the
I
boat
did the
heading towards the
sigil, too.
island. It doesn't seem to have
As a
seen
drinking
you.
magical habit.
I mean, honestly, Captain Ron's just kind of got running lights going, and there's lots of shrimpers. Well, there's not lots of shrimpers, but there's lots of fishing boats out here or pleasure cruises at night. So it could be anybody.
If you guys don't want to go, you can, but I just think we're missing an
What time is it?
opportunity to close things down quickly.
It's sun's down. It's probably about 8 o'clock. It's not real late, but it is dark. You can see the lights again of the city and everything like that. But out on the water, there's not a whole lot of light.
How far are we away from the dock?
About 100 feet, not far.
So we're not far at all.
No.
Oh,
How
we
far are we
barely
away
got
from
off.
Yeah, no, like we were going for
Oh, so they're on their way
a
to
while.
us. We would.
Approximately. He's going to pass you on the way to the
They're
island.
not gonna not know we weren't here.
Right.
Well, just
Just
flag them down and see what happens.
like, hey,
And he kind of sees your boat and
My mom sells boats. So there's like,
he cuts back on the motor and he kind of sees you guys there and you guys wave.
Hey!
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Well, I almost crossed again.
Okay. He cuts the engine and he goes, hey, engine trouble?
Yeah, we got stopped here. There's a weird thing, like fog rolled in, and we thought a guy was playing tricks with us, and so we're just kind of, man, what's going on around here?
Huh. Fog rolled in. And he kind of looks around at y'all and he says, you didn't happen to mess with things you should have left alone, did you?
Well, probably. That's kind of what we do.
well, it's some of what we do. We do other things.
And he says, huh. So who was it that...
You're not going to magically make one of us drown, are you?
That's more Agwe who does things like that.
Yeah, we met him.
Yeah.
You met Agwe.
Yeah, he's
cool
a
dude.
cool guy.
That's a hell of a
Really
punch.
nice.
Absolutely not.
And he
Deny.
He's looking at you three and he says, so...
What three?
You three. He says, so which of you took down Agwe's ward?
Well,
That would be me.
How
mess with
come
no
you don't
child.
think it was me who did it?
Yeah, maybe I could have done it.
Yeah, it might have been. What if it could have been me?
You don't do
Okay,
spells.
all right.
Damn, the guy's again.
He's so good.
Jody,
So
I need you to make a discipline check.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I'm rolling terrible.
Ooh.
Trying to get Jody killed tonight.
No. Oh my gosh! What'd you get?
Jody! Oh
I'm
It's
gonna
the
guess a
curse.
3.
A 3.
He's drifted gradually closer to the boat, and he's kind of been looking at y'all. And when you go, "That was me," he meets your eyes. Oh, you look away. Okay. He looks at you and says, figured as much. And he says, he looks at you and says, well, let's get off the water where we can talk.
What's this guy look like?
He's kind of thin, maybe 30s, early 30s. He's dressed in jeans. Maybe he looks like a t-shirt. Says
he's really
Def
cool.
Leppard across the front.
You know,
He's got kind of dark skin.
he sure is cocky being by himself and there's 5 of us.
Actually, you see that he's got what looks like maybe an 8-year-old boy with him. So he runs the boat up to the dock,
Being so medium
and the
rare.
little boy hops out, ties it off. Captain Ron goes, so we going back to the island?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the boat starts, turn. He turns the boat around. It turns
Poor
so
Captain
slow,
Ron.
and he takes it back up, ties on the dock.
it for a ride.
Goes up to the dock, says, "Somebody tie us off," and he cuts the engine,
I'll
reverses
tie
it.
us off.
Okay. You guys gonna head back onto the dock?
Sure.
Okay. The guy's standing there, and his little son's beside him. He's got his arm around. Well, he's got the little kid around him, but he's got his arm around the kid's shoulders. You get the feeling that they're, if not father and son, at least related somehow. He says, "Just a minute," and you notice he kind of puts his hands out and he looks around, and then he walks over to the slab of concrete and looks at it, and he says, "All right, I see why Agwe wasn't too pissed."
I probably didn't do it right.
Yeah.
Well,
So, what do you say goes on around here? Because we,
Not much, really.
so
He
this
says
is
this
really
is-
well protected for someplace out in the middle of the.
Well, yeah, it's my great grandfather. Well, great great-great-grandfather's house. Sure.
Oh, Lafitte. Yeah, he basically sent us here.
Yeah.
My
I pull out the map. I pull out the map and I show him the cigarette burns.
He pulls out a flashlight and he turns it on and he shines it on the map and he says, I have no idea what the hell that is. And he turns the flashlight off and puts it back in his pocket.
I like, though, for like the briefest moment, for the briefest little fragment, whenever he turned the light on and panned it across the map, you could see just on the side of that map her face.
He's like,
been waiting for this moment.
Well, a ghost of a dead pirate put his cigarette out in exactly that spot, so you tell me.
sounds like he needed a place to put out a cigar. And he kind of rolls his eyes and he says, this is my family home and my family island.
So you're a Lafitte.
Well, yeah, my name's Antoine. Your name is?
Bunk.
Bunk. Nice to meet you, Bunk.
Nice to meet you.
Della.
Della.
Miranda.
Volt.
Darwin. And this is Travis, my son. He
Hello,
says,
Travis.
we've been maintaining the offerings to Agwe for, I guess, the last 30 years. My dad taught me what Agwe likes, and we maintain the offerings. Keeps people from messing around with the family home too much. That's why you didn't see any graffiti. He
It's like an awful lot of trouble to go through to keep kids from graffitiing the place up, you know?
well, we never did find my great-great-great-granddaddy's treasure.
Oh,
If it's anywhere, it's here.
That's what I said! That's what I
You
said!
looking for granddaddy's treasure?
Of course.
Well, we...
No, wait. Let's come to terms right now. It's my family treasure.
Well, we didn't know there would be family
Right.
until we saw the
But
cemetery.
it is the family treasure, so we need to talk about how this splits.
We can talk about that. That is something we can talk about.
Okay.
Obviously, you being...
I'm sure you have ideas.
There's 5 of y'all. Look, whatever you find, if you split it with us, 25-75, we're good.
So y'all get 25 and we get 75?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
that feels
That seems very reasonable.
seems reasonable.
very
to me.
fair. You feel that it's on this island.
I have no idea.
Oh.
We've never found anything.
Have you looked?
Well, yeah. I mean, my grandpappy looked. They spent lots of time out here. My daddy looked and never found anything, but I don't know.
So
Jamaica.
you come from a line of people like us, or are you special? Like, was your daddy
He's a wizard.
a wizard?
Well, that's how I knew that.
Yeah,
She-
exactly.
yeah,
But has
yeah.
it been passed down through the?
Absolutely. We don't do much of the fast, quick magic, but given enough time, we can do a lot of things.
Was
My people. That's okay.
was Jean Lafitte a wizard?
No. His wife Abigail was.
Oh.
She was a voodoo priestess, and well, most of the time that ability
So
was
cool.
passed down from father to son, sometime to daughter as well. We're pretty interesting family.
Yeah.
Not a lot of us left, but a few.
You should write a book.
I don't write much.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
One of the things that started off the whole sigil thing was, are you aware of the ley lines? Do you know anything about ley lines?
I've heard that there's power flowing through the earth that sometimes can be used by people who can commune with the Loa, but other than that, I know.
Because one of the ley lines is tainted and not in a good way. So we thought there was something wrong out here because of the taint.
No clue what you're talking about there. Yeah, couldn't really help you there. I know the spells my daddy taught me and his granddaddy before him, but most of our stuff has to do with communing with the Loa and the spirits because we've always done right by them, and so they do right by us.
So is there anything I
Where
can
have
do to
y'all
help you
looked?
fix this sigil back since I broke it?
Well, it'll come back.
Okay.
Give it about 6 hours, and nobody will be able to find this place again. You kind of dampened its excitement for a little while, but it'll come back.
Okay.
Now, did you mess with Papa Legba's sigil?
About that.
I'm going to the boat.
There.
I'm sitting recording.
Well,
Well, yes.
Here, let's look at it.
He gave us an earful already.
Oh, I'm sure he did. He
And a
tends to not
lungful.
appreciate that. Oh, all he did was give you an earful.
No, and a lungful.
Well,
Well,
you know, he's a
Agwe.
trickster spirit. No, not Agwe. This is Papa Legba.
Oh.
He says, all he did was
The one
yell
for the
at
house
you.
one.
Yeah,
he
well,
didn't- I
and
mean,
we met some of your kinfolks.
Oh, the zombies. Well, that was part of the whole sigil thing. They were supposed to protect the house.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Let's
not
go
that I know.
check the sigil. So he starts walking
guys
down.
remember
He
anything?
grabs
I
his
don't remember anything.
flashlight,
I
turns it
live in-
on.
You just thinking of something
Yeah.
personally strained or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but he didn't do anything to me.
Oh, no.
No,
I mean, he
he
looks
just,
at you and
he
says,
just seemed
"He
kinda
didn't do anything
pissed
to you." Not
Oh,
yet. He
man,
didn't.
you might
know,
wanna-
he is known for his jokes.
He did tell me to go see Purse of the Strange.
Oh, I know Percy. Yeah. Well, okay. And he turns on his flashlight and starts walking down towards the house. It takes about 10-15 minutes to walk to the house. He goes up to the front door, goes inside, and kind of walks around. Says, "Be careful. The floor's not safe in a lot of areas, so watch your step." And he goes,
You
"Yeah,
went
the
swimming into
sigil's
that.
gone. Ooh. You might want to watch your back for a while. Papa Legba doesn't appreciate people messing around with his stuff, so,
I feel
Great.
obligated to give you something that I found.
Oh?
And I pull out the jar of ick.
Oh God!
from the
Why do you have
basement.
that? Put that back in the basement. There's no telling what that is or how old it is. Oh, get rid of that. That's
What
gross.
if there is like an undiscovered strain of
No,
Spanish
no.
flu in
You,
here?
you probably wind up killing all of us with the back. Oh, and he says, "You're going to give this to me because I'm putting it back in the water." That's
hold up my
that's
hand
gross.
now.
I'll just give it to
Oh.
and be
10
like,
years
"Look,
later,
That's,
you go and
why would you? He looks at you and says, "Why would you keep something like that?" That's
it
awful.
was a bottle.
I'll
Yeah.
get you another one. Just get rid of
Antiques.
that.
That's
Oh.
why.
But these wards only cover the island itself.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. Agwe also makes sure the dock is okay, so we can leave offerings for him. But other than that, no. That's it. Just the island.
So I'm thinking we didn't
Legba was
put
the
it
one
in
who
the water. It
who
must
watched
be
the
in
house.
island.
Yeah.
Do you think the ley line was tainted from here, or do you think that it
I don't know.
just
Part of me
happens
wants to say
converge here?
maybe wherever the treasure is, that's where the taint started from. But then I could just be chasing a wild dog with these ley
Do you
lines too.
want to try and assess the ley line with your wizard's sight?
I can, yeah. I mean, I've already touched it.
All right. So you open your wizard's sight. You're going to try and look at the ley line.
Mm-hmm.
Need a lore check. Okay.
Right, dice.
Do better.
Yeah.
That's only -1.
4.
All right, so you open your wizard's sight. You kind of peer down at the ground, and you can kind of start moving your hands to move the rocks out of the way. You can see the 3 ley lines. The one that's got the beautiful green, and there's one that's got kind of a white glow to it, and there's the one that has this kind of sickly purple color to it. You're looking at it, and you can tell that's the one that's tainted. And as you look at it, it gives you this feeling that makes your heart kind of beat, and then you go, "I don't even know why I'm trying this. This is stupid. I can't figure it out."
Wait, I don't have time to look around at it, follow it down.
Well, you can see it going that way. I'm gonna need you to make a discipline check. Boy, you are a discipline check girl tonight. Tell you what.
I'm doing terrible
Woo!
too.
That is the
Another
four next-
4.
That's,
You can feel this. You're just like,
isolated?
I'm a terrible warden.
Can
I
I
don't know.
spend this to get 2 more?
What are you using it for?
I am using. Well, I still want the stupid truth. Seeking the truth.
Okay, I'll take that. All right. You feel that it's almost like the ley line is telling you that you're worthless, you're no good, you're a terrible warden, you're never going to amount to anything, and you should just end it all. At which point
I
you go,
refuse to believe that.
well, at which point you go, wait a minute, that's not me. And you kind of muster up the courage to realize this is not coming from you, it's coming from outside. And you realize that the ley line is kind of giving you this feeling of worthlessness and stuff like that. And you're kind of able to push it back and say, wow, this is kind of, okay, that's the ley line. You still can't tell whether the taint is coming from the island or somewhere else.
So it's not like it's darker and lighter or anything. It's just all the
You
same.
want to make another lore? I need you to make a discipline check to make sure you don't take any damage, okay, from your wizard sight. Ooh, that's
Oh my god.
Oh my! You have
The
rolled the same
roll.
dice. Wow.
What
What'd you
in
get?
the world? So that's a 4.
I got a
right?
4.
You take 1 stress. It's stress 1 hit. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a
Is
stress 1
that
hit.
mental?
Mental. Yeah. Make me another lore check. Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, you got to look at it again. That's what you have to do. You just have to look deeper.
No, I mean,
You've got to be kidding
You gotta
me.
roll my dice. I don't know what's going
I will
on
let
right
you
now.
roll. I'll let you roll someone else's dice because that's
Burning with
What
fire.
is going
Insane.
Yeah,
on?
that's crazy.
yeah, but that you roll the same numbers every time.
It's Papa Legba.
He's coming in too.
That clear fingernail polish is making them roll the way I want.
oh, God.
The opposite. The opposite. All right.
For a minute, I thought it was the same.
I did too.
Oh my
that
god.
was crazy.
Jeez, man, that's
Okay,
fresh.
so you look at the
So
line.
now I have a 6.
You can tell that the taint is not coming from here. It's somewhere further away down the ley line. You're not
Can
sure
I
where.
tell directionally?
Towards New Orleans.
Northeast?
Towards New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
definitely not coming from here. Do you want to close your wizard sight?
Yes.
Discipline check again. Wow, this is discipline check night for Jody. I tell you what.
Oh, God. You
Cursed
kidding
my
me?
dice! Oh
Sorry, guys. Just had to adjust there for a moment. Right.
Yeah.
You get another stress 1 hit, which is going to
Hit
fill
to
your
reapply
stress
the
2
mark.
hit.
Yeah,
no! Yeah.
Do you want to make another lore check for anything looking around, or you got to make another discipline check?
You're
to
done.
close it?
I think I
You
need to
did.
stop.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty
You
tough
gotta,
night.
you gotta close
Now
your,
use
you
Buck's
gotta close
dice.
your wizard
Surrender.
sight.
Oh, yeah.
You're- Right
okay.
now, you're dying because you cannot overcome the feeling of the ley lines. The power
Okay.
is causing you to have trouble closing. So you need a better
Alright.
roll.
Anybody else want? You want to offer
I
your
ain't touching
dice?
those.
Mhm.
Bust
Ah.
That's fine.
So,
0.
what is that?
5?
5. You're able to close your sight and go,
Wow.
"Woo."
Lord.
You are feeling a little mentally
Woozy.
drained at this point. Yeah. So what are you guys going to do? Antoine is like, I've got to get back pretty quick. I mean, I guess you guys are looking for the treasure and we've made a deal. And he looks at you and spits in his hand. You shake it. He says, all right, well, whatever you find, we get 25%, you get 75%.
Yeah, do we have access to here? Do we?
Well, I mean, once the veil comes back up,
Then we're
What
dealing
about
with Mr.
Your
Yeah,
phone number?
Hogways.
Oh, yeah, I can give him my phone number. And he pulls out his
And I
cell phone.
pulled out my phone that doesn't work because.
No, it actually is working fine.
Oh, it's fine?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fine.
cool.
He pulls out his phone and he sends you a text and it comes across and says, "Hey, this is Antoine."
You've just made a huge mistake.
oh dear Lord!
Yeah, you've just made a huge
all the
mistake.
text, all the emojis.
All the
The
emojis. all the
power.
emojis. So he grabs Travis and Travis is kind of watching all this. You notice that the kid is not very put off by any of this. Seems like magic is something he's kind of used to, and so he and his dad walk back towards the dock and he says, "Okay, well, be careful. I guess you don't have to worry about the zombies anymore, but that's good.
Anything else we need to worry about besides zombies?
It's be careful. There's swampy water will really get in your cuts and give you a nasty case of tetanus or any of the other things. Don't drink the water around here; it's bad. And so he says, other than that, nah.
I had my shot on from Tennessee.
That's right. This year should be good. Yeah. So he heads off into the darkness.
Florida,
You can
so
see his
I should be
flashlight, and they
able to
kind of
most
disappear in the
things.
trees. Looks like they're hit. And a couple minutes later, you hear.
I love how you emphasize that sort of. I'm from Florida.
Well, I'm going to scrounge up a little bit of food and something to drink after having my lunch.
Well, there's probably food on the boat. I mean, you guys said you brought packages to eat and kind of party. So you head back down to the boat. Captain Ron's kind of there. He goes, "So we heading out?"
Not yet.
All right.
Let's give it one more.
Where are we going to look?
All right. Well,
He said,
We go.
"Well, so if we're not heading out, I mean, I'm willing to hang around for a couple more $100.
Okay.
I mean, I got nothing going on in the morning."
Has
We can
old
do that.
old
That,
dude already
right?
left with his kid?
Yeah, he has.
And they said they never had any they never found anything, never found any clues.
but we also don't know how diligently they looked. He seemed almost
True.
kind of blasé.
They've had 3 generations of looking too, though.
Yeah.
But at the same
But
time,
they hadn't seen national treasure.
And it could be
before they look
a Stanley Yelnat situation where they just dug holes instead of, you know.
right, looking for clues, which is what I think is the.
Well, let's go look
I
for
mean,
some
clearly
clues.
they were building character. I don't see the problem.
So for a little extra bonus,
Right. So,
Captain
I
Ron,
guess
will you be patient with us for just a few
let's do
more?
one.
sure, I'll hang out on the boat. Look, there's a area to sleep down below decks. That's where I'm going. You want some pillows or anything? I mean, y'all gonna stay on the boat or are you?
No.
We're just gonna
We're
walk
just
around
gonna
a little bit and
do another
a little
sweep and
search.
then
All right.
head.
Well, look, I'll be here. I'm gonna leave the gangplank out, and so you can get aboard if you need to. And I'm gonna go
All right.
sleep a little bit.
I guess investigate the house one more time.
So he goes down below decks, puts the gangplank out. He's almost start the motor and let it run the light for you so you can find it. So he shunk, 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 and the motor's kind of going and the lights come on, and that's about it. Yeah.
I want to go check the outbuilding, the kitchen outbuilding,
Okay.
because I was looking for hearth carvings before
Okay.
in the house, but I didn't check in the kitchen.
Okay. The kitchen is out a little bit east of the house, if you remember, because that was where the servants could come in through that little door and take stuff to the dining room. So you head back to the house, kind of head to the east. You remember there's a lot of outbuildings out there. The kitchen is, of course, the closest one to the house because that's what you would do. And you certainly wouldn't want... I'm sorry, it's out to the west of the house. I apologize. It's to the west of the house. You certainly wouldn't want your kitchen in your house in case it caught on fire because then the house would burn down. That'd be terrible. So you head up to the kitchen. It's a brick building. It's got a door on it. You go inside. There's this huge, what looks like cast iron stove, which is kind of modern.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But also remember that there were some
edition.
things in the house that were kind of modern. You know, Lafitte was from the 1700s. This is an antebellum mansion. So this wasn't built until about the 1800s. But it's a big old cast iron stove. One of the legs looks like broken off, and so it's collapsed to one side, and all the pipes that are up there have kind of gotten bent and crooked out of place. There's a bunch of cabinetry that is in kind of good shape, but all the doors are open. The countertops look like they're kind of this granite. There's a big warming table that's this huge table where you could build a fire in it, and it had zinc on top of it. And so you could literally keep dishes warm there and then carry them into the house. Other than that, you don't see a whole lot else here. It's big, square. Oh, well, outside of it, there's a huge cast iron, looks like pot that you could use to make like big soups or whatever, and there's a fire where you can roast whole cows or whatever you want to do. But yeah.
I have a thought for you.
Mm-hmm.
If he died like 100 years before this big antebellum house was built, wouldn't it stand to reason that it might be somewhere else that he might have actually stayed on the island, and that's where he would have buried it instead of the more modern area? Well, it didn't have to be buildings. I mean, wouldn't he been like tented?
Well, the stove would be pretty old because you need a stove immediately. If you look out towards the, there was also a building that looked like maybe a wash house. That was kind of an open building that when you flew over, you saw it. It had a smaller kettle by it. Did you want to check the kitchen before you go out? Maybe do an investigation
Yeah,
check or anything
I
like that?
give it
would
this
like
week.
to,
Had we not done that yet?
No,
but
so we're just looking at it.
instead of investigation, I would like to use craftsmanship
Okay.
to take a look at some of the stuff. And if I were going to put a little hidey hole in this little building, where would I put it?
Got you.
Good
I
idea.
like
You
that.
use your craftsmanship. The others use investigation. Give me a roll.
Oh my God, Della.
Ooh.
Wow,
Wow.
Jody.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you got the same roll on your dice as she did. That's crazy.
Well, it was better than what I got.
Wow. What'd you get?
I'm
Tyler?
sorry.
All right, so what do we get here?
1.
One.
I'm so sorry, Miranda.
I didn't roll.
Oh, you're not
'Cause
gonna
I
roll.
don't do investigation, but I guess I will after seeing these.
Yeah.
I mean, you got +0. I mean,
If you roll this
you're at
same
least even.
thing,
I got a 1.
You got
I
that.
did you guys good her. Yeah.
I rolled my roll.
So
So
what'd you-
-1.
Oh, what'd you
So
get?
that's
Wow.
so I'm at
So
2.
craftsmanship,
I'm at
what'd you
2.
I got a
Hopefully.
7 total.
Hey, there
Wow.
we go.
Thank you.
You're looking around, kind
know
of
what's
knocking
wrong
on
with it.
things. The brick is solid. You go over the little zinc table, kind of knocking on it, stuff like that. Kind of roll up underneath it, look under. No, not really.
Yeah.
You walk up over to the stove. It's one of those typical stoves. It's big. I mean, it's almost like 3/4 the size of this couch.
Right.
Which if you're going to make lots of food, that
Right.
makes sense. You kind of grab the door and open it, and the door and it opens, and you're like, door's heavy.
Right.
It's a really heavy door. I mean, this is ridiculous. And so you think, well, if I were going to put something underneath, somewhere, I'd put it under the stove. And so you kind of, cast iron stove, you kind of start pushing on it. It doesn't budge. And you're like, what the heck is wrong with this stove? And
Hey, Vault.
yeah, the stove doesn't move at all. I mean, you're used to, you hip check the stove, it's going to move an inch or so, and you're going to get somebody stronger to move it. You hip check it, there's no motion at all. Yeah, and you're like, ow. It's crazy how heavy it is. And so you go, what is this? And you start looking around,
I've been summoned.
and you notice that the leg is lying over against one of the cabinets. Okay, the leg that broke off.
Right.
Okay, you walk over and pick it up, and it's of course black. And you pick it up, and where it broke off is gold.
Are you kidding me?
And you're like,
That's
and well, when you pick
hysterical.
it up, it weighs like probably 100 pounds,
Yeah.
50 pounds, something like that. You're like, oh my gosh, the leg of the stove is gold, and you kind of. And it's soft, like it's pure gold, or maybe 20 karat or something like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, the leg of the stove is gold. And you're looking, okay, this is probably a pound of gold. Pound of gold, let's say it's 16 ounces. That's like $10,000 that you're holding in your hand. You kind of look over at the stove
That's a
and
quarter,
go,
right? That's for that. So
yeah. And so so he picks up the leg of the stove and goes, oh my gosh. And you guys all look at him. What do you want to tell him?
So I was like, what a place to hide.
What?
what?
The first place you looked?
So the stove itself
Technically,
is
it's the
gold?
last place I looked.
Actually, you're right. You're right.
Don't know.
You're right. Wait, so is the whole thing? Can
Is
we?
there a way to get the silver or whatever's on the outside
No, it's
up?
black. It's painted black.
It's painted black.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's just so.
So can we
So can
possibly
we-
just chip some of the black off
I'm
and see if...
gonna one finger claw.
Gold all underneath the black. Okay. You start
Texas,
looking
"We
at,
found it!"
you start
Yeah.
looking at this stove and you're thinking,
That's what-
oh my gosh, that you want to try and move the stove?
Look, you're sitting there saying like, oh, wait a second. She's like,
It doesn't even budge.
It's too late. She's already texted
Can I make
it.
a might check because I've got inhuman strength?
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
I add Antoine to the group chat.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh, where's my...
oh,
You make a
my
mic check. You're
Lord.
gonna need a good one, buddy.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
Well, we could just give Captain Ron that
These
leg.
rolls.
for
I got
staying.
a 7.
That's
Still
way more
doesn't
than
move.
the other.
What?
Gold is not technically stone,
No.
so
Yeah.
Well, it's a mineral, so okay.
You
Yeah.
took too much chopping it.
So can we
You
pick
want
up
that?
like we have a leg, right?
no. that
You have a
might
leg
be
that's about this
we
big.
have a leg, and I hand it to you.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
How heavy? I mean,
Do you want to try and cut it with your sword?
Earlier, you said it was like 50
Kinda.
pounds.
Yeah.
That's like,
Want to do it?
Okay.
for something that's only about that
That's a
big,
bad idea.
that's
Sword?
dense.
What are you
I
gonna do?
fling
You
that
gonna cut
around
the door
every
off?
day at
Cut the
work.
door off.
It sucks.
hold open the door,
50
Bob.
pounds, not fun.
Okay.
And so you're like, this lady say like,
All right. The door goes
do this everything.
clang, 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 clang,
It is
clang,
not
clang,
like
clang,
that.
clang.
It's like,
So she cut the door off with her sword.
oh,
Oh!
Yeah, it cuts stone, remember? So yeah, all right. So you gonna grab it?
yeah.
Concrete
Oh
doesn't
dear
count, but gold
Lord,
does.
it's heavy. I mean, you're thinking this door.
It's a mixture. It doesn't count.
You have no idea how heavy this thing is, but you pick it up and go, oh crap! You just barely are able to deadlift this thing and kind of get at your arms around it, and you're like, wow, it's heavy. I mean, really heavy.
Okay, everybody back up. I'm about to just like anime samurai.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
No.
It probably weighs around 300, 400 pounds.
There's a way that you can do this to where we can easily move it and not just be moving random pieces of gold
Oh, okay,
around.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
You're looking at the stove. You figure, knowing what you know about gold, and the size of the stove, it weighs approximately 7.5 tons.
Whoa, Jesus.
Okay,
There's no way that's going on that shrimp boat.
Right.
I can't live.
well, no. The shrimp boat could possibly get it because it is used to carrying lots of weight. So you can point, okay, cut here, shink.
Yeah.
She's probably going to cut the door in half a couple times.
Okay.
She starts cutting it up. Her cutting through this gold like butter. I mean, which, was kind of funny because you were throwing cement at her and it was go ting, but the gold, it has no trouble cutting.
Wow.
And so she kind of dices and slices about half of it up. You're like, okay, so that's about 7,000 pounds.
I guess I'll get to work.
Hey,
Yeah.
in the meantime, can I go, or maybe we go look and see if there are any other kind of like raft boat things that we could put some.
There's not. He actually asked
We
about that
checked the
already.
boathouse
He said
earlier.
I said there's some metal wheels lying around, but there's no carts attached to them because they've all kind of fallen apart. So you guys start grabbing. You can probably grab about 50 pounds a piece, maybe 100 pounds if you really want. You can grab more than that. Probably around 500 pounds and you're okay. You
They
begin
got a
your,
golden stove,
now
guys.
it's nighttime, right? So you begin trekking down there with this gold. Captain Ron's sleeping. There's the area where the shrimp would normally be stored. You start stacking the gold in there. You come back. Get
Does he
another load of
see us
gold.
doing this?
No, he's
He's
asleep.
asleep.
He's sleeping.
That's good.
You stack more gold down there. You get the hold where the shrimp is about maybe half full, and you're noticing the boat is noticeably sitting lower in the water, and you're
Yeah.
going, wow, okay. You've probably gotten about 3,000 pounds in there, and it's probably been a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. You head back up there, get some more. Stack some kind of in the front of the
not
boat
let
to kind of
the
even
game
things out.
wardens
You're looking at,
stop
okay, I don't
us.
want the boat sinking, don't want it falling through the bottom.
Or
into the-
low riding.
yeah, right. Yeah, and about 4 hours goes by. You gotta get a little tired. Captain Ron, sun starts to, you can see just barely the sun starting to peak above the horizon. You realize you've been at this all night. And so Captain Ron comes up on deck and he kind of goes, you guys want some coffee?
Yep.
Ooh,
What the hell are you doing? And he notices, you're carrying these gold bricks. And he goes, is that gold?
I just slap a nugget that was a knob in his hand and go, yep.
He goes, holy shit, that's a lot of gold.
Yes, it is.
Is there more where this came from?
Nope.
Wow. He says, oh, well, okay, that bonus I said, we're good. And he takes it and puts on the is this pure gold?
Well,
Seems like it.
I think so.
Okay, we're good. And he puts it on the desk and he's like, wow, that's heavy. Puts it there and he says, okay, you need some help?
Well, you've done enough
How much?
for us.
How much? All right, we're riding a little lower now.
Holy shit, we are. And he says, wait a minute. He goes out on the dock and he
Hold
goes,
up. Wait a minute.
may have to take
Something ain't right.
he says, in the shrimp hold? And he walks down, he gets on the boat, goes, holy crap, that's a lot of gold. You found Lafitte's treasure. Oh, yep, right,
We have to
got you.
read
We don't
this
want people to know. Got it,
super
not a
under
problem.
wraps, Captain.
Sure, okay. Look, and he starts suggesting, you put it in this area and stuff like, and he's making suggestions about so the boat doesn't ride low. He says, look, let me, okay, he says, hang on. And he steps off the dock and starts kind of walking around. He's walking in the water, checking the boat and says, okay, all right, I think she's all right. I think she can handle the weight. We might want to stack some of it up on the deck because I don't want the underside to, get too much weight on it and collapse. So let's put the rest up on deck. I've got tarps. And he says, let me get them. So he heads below deck, comes out with about 4 or 5 big old,
Put a couple in
tarps
the
and stuff
cooler.
like canvas. And he says, yeah, let's stack it up here. We'll put canvas over it and so nobody will know. Wow.
We'll get from the boat when we dock to.
I was
Wherever.
just thinking about that.
You're going to need a truck.
I live in pawn shop.
You're thinking dump truck.
But-
Dump truck.
You know a guy who works
Dump truck.
sanitation.
Della, do
Yeah.
you feel like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
house would be the most secure out of everybody's
Where
house?
is? What's whose house?
Della's
I
house?
don't think my house can hold 7,000 worth of.
I've got
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you gotta,
Yeah. All right. My house
Remember,
is.
we're talking about a stove it's basically
All
like
right.
27 cubic feet of gold.
Oh my God.
All right, yeah, of my house. We'll take it to my house.
We're really pulling off. We only got half of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 14 cubic feet.
Have you heard
Large
back
reduce
from?
would come in handy.
Have you heard back from Antoine?
No, have
Oh,
you
yeah.
texted him?
I added
Yeah.
him to the group chat and
As
just
soon-
sent
as
a
soon
bunch
as
of
we
gold
found it.
emojis.
He texts back and says, what does that mean?
It's like, it means you're rich.
Oh, cool. Do you need some help?
Yes.
I'll be there in an hour.
Bigger boat.
Wait, at
We
the
need a bigger
island?
We
The
need
island. He
a
says he'll come to
bigger
the island.
boat.
Yeah. He says, bigger boat. Maybe a little longer than an hour.
Okay.
That's
And
fine.
that's-
That gives
How
us
long
time
is it
to.
gonna take us to go to the shore and back? How long did it take?
Well, do you want to
get out
wait for
here?
Antoine to
think
get
we
there?
I
should
think we should
wait,
wait
yeah.
for
Yeah.
Antoine,
to get
yeah.
because once this ward goes down, we're not able to get back in.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with it again. I'm already in enough trouble.
Yeah.
So
That's what
you
I
guys
want.
start moving the gold. Okay, sun begins to come up fully. Captain Ron is putting canvas on it. About an hour goes by and you hear. Chung, 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 chung,
Somebody's
chung,
got a
and
bigger
a
boat.
much bigger boat comes out. It looks like a shrimp
is a
boat,
bigger
actually. This one's actually got nets and stuff on it, and things like that. The
Actually,
word
actually
shrimp
Antoine,
boat. Yeah, sure enough, it's Antoine with his son, which I don't know if he ever told you his son's name.
Travis.
Travis, that's right. Antoine hops off. Travis hops off and ties the boat off, and he goes, "So, wow, that's a lot of gold.
Yep.
Yes.
You're gonna need. Okay, I see why you said bigger boat. Well, let's get moving." And he starts picking up pieces of gold and putting it on there. So, where was it?
It was a stove.
In the old kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find anything else?
We didn't see anything else.
Okay.
That don't mean it's not there.
Okay. And so he starts helping move, and Travis is moving what he can, which is not very much. You're moving stuff into the
I go back and I clone the house.
the house.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
He's going to
House
clog
is made of
everything.
gold.
Everything.
The zinc plate, the zinc covered plate.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Actually, that
Well-
would probably just be a cool thing to have, regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
There were some other cooking things around.
Yeah, there was a big pot outside.
Oh, that's right.
And check that.
Let's go check.
So you're checking the cook pot.
Yes.
You're
Well,
gonna hit it
I'm
with your
gonna
finger.
keep helping with the
Yeah, it's
gold.
pretty hard. It's okay. So you're still moving stuff. You're still moving stuff.
I'll do a slash.
Okay, it seems like cast iron. It's hard. Gold's soft. This is hard. Yeah. Pretty hard. Yeah.
I'll just slash everything in that.
The kitchen. Well, the bricks have got big score marks on them and stuff like that. So you're slashing things. You're tearing up the cabinets. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything there. Yeah.
Okay.
So you get all the gold loaded onto the two boats. And Antoine says, "Wow, that's a lot of gold." So that was it, huh? We ready to head out?
I guess. I mean,
As far as we know, that we weren't able to find it. So
we don't really know what the scope of the treasure was.
Well,
So we
he's a
don't know how much.
pirate, so I'm sure he had a lot of gold, obviously. But I would think he'd have other stuff too.
Yeah.
There was no silver.
Was there a chandelier?
What time is it?
It's like about probably 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock in the
We
morning.
can go back and look. I have
Wow.
no
It's
inventory.
been-
You maybe got
12 hours.
you maybe got about
We've been up for longer than
Yeah.
that.
Darwin
Been up for
is
so
We took like a
long.
nap waiting
you
on the boat. to come
maybe
in.
got about. You're not sure how long the veil is going to stay gone.
I
is
know
the big
that's the
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Let's go
So,
look. Let's go look
I
quick.
mean-
Yeah, I'm about it.
we gotta go.
Darwin, you can nap on the
For
boat.
the record, the veil should already be up.
Yes.
It was
Well,
about
you-
8 o'clock whenever we were told, or a little bit after 8, I should say, when we were told in maybe 6 hours.
right.
But
But-
the veil doesn't
We
go
can-
We're inside
both
the
ways.
veil.
It's only one way,
Right.
right?
We can
Right.
get
So
out.
we
we just
haven't
won't be able to
left
get
the
back.
If we
island.
go
That's
outside,
what
we
I'm
won't.
saying.
Yeah. So if we leave, we can't see it. But
Right.
if we
That's
go out
the
to the
thing.
boat, we're fine.
You could take a nap on the
Here's
boat.
our-
Well, if
Well,
you
you
want to take a nap, I can go
We'll go
slash
look.
some shit up.
Captain Ron says, you're welcome to, crash down below decks. It's quiet down there. So you can go crash below
Yeah,
decks
this is
for a
we
little
did
while.
one.
Anyone
Yeah.
else gonna do anything in
We did
particular?
three.
I'm gonna go with Della back to look for
So
silver.
yeah.
I guess
Some
I'm gonna look
silver
for
and
stuff
probably
too.
jewels too, because I mean he was.
That's what I'm saying. If there is a chandelier,
Tiara.
something,
There should
it
be
could
a tiara
Yeah.
like little
somewhere.
glasses.
Yeah, there's
I just
probably
wanna
some
wear
kind
it
of
for a
like
minute.
jewelry and gems and stuff.
We're suckers for treasure. All right.
So this,
Let's
so
go.
you said there's a,
Have you
like
seen
a
you
blacksmith
talking to?
shop, right?
Right. Anvil.
Anvil. Right, so the anvil is an anvil, or is it?
Both.
He can
Sort out.
He can wrap his arms around it and kind of gut
Yeah.
to the side.
So he's got a
Yeah,
big
and it's sitting on a big stump, and you can knock the stump to the side. And yeah,
Anything else in there seem like
doesn't
you
seem to
know?
be. Although, there's the
Horseshoes,
bellows. Well, look,
tools.
there's not a bellows. There's where a bellows would have been. There's a
And,
place where you would put charcoal. It's got brick and stuff.
Well, are we going to look?
Where are we looking?
Russ,
Let's
You
go.
look at the
Russ,
blacksmith shop. Doesn't seem to be anything to do with the anvil or what the anvil's resting on.
It does mean that the gold is pure gold, though.
It's pretty close.
I want to pick up the zinc plate. Is it really heavy?
Which zinc plate?
No,
Oh, on
you
the table.
won't.
On the table. No, I mean you can peel it up off the table. There's a big. Underneath. There's a big wooden table. Yeah.
Are there any other like houses outside, like besides?
There's the wash house. There's a couple other houses on the other side. Yeah.
Have we checked the wash
Yeah,
house yet?
No, you have not.
Through the wash house.
I feel like that was probably his favorite
Let's
place.
go check the other places.
The wash house has a big tub. It's a stone trough, actually, is what it is. And there's a big
Stone.
cast iron. There's a smaller cast iron pot where you would maybe like cook, do the laundry. There looks like there are metal nails in different places where you could have, maybe run lines and hung stuff to dry. Other than that, not a whole lot.
Oh, it's a laundry room.
That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, wash house, laundry room.
Yeah, different wash house than I was thinking. Yeah.
One of the other houses that we haven't been to.
There was a smokehouse.
Still here. Forever.
Let's see. There was a smokehouse. Well, you thought it was a smokehouse. You weren't 100% sure. Let me see what else.
Ooh,
But I'm thinking if I was going to hide a treasure, I'd hide it in like a place people would think isn't important. Alright, so I'm searching the other house.
Which house? Which
One
building?
of the two houses you said is near the
Smokehouse?
laundry.
All right.
Yeah, smokehouse.
Smokehouse is a small wooden house. The roof is collapsed on it. There's lots of metal hooks in there where you would hang, meat and stuff like that. There's a kind of a stone pedestal there with kind of an area and where you would smoke the meat. Other than that, doesn't seem to be a whole
Can't
lot.
move anything around in
Oh,
there.
you can. Yeah, you can tear it apart if you want.
I want to search
Um,
as many of these buildings as we can.
I guess
for
I'm
any
looking
sort
for
of-
holes or...
There's an ice house, which is basically a big wooden shack. Pretty much it. You would have to get ice from different places and put it in there. But yeah, that's about it.
Did we go down to the zombie area where they came from?
In the graveyard or whatever?
graveyard. I feel like
Give me an investigation check, everybody, real quick.
Last effort.
You're
Wait.
Wow.
Della! I got 4.
Oh, wow.
4.
All right, the curse is broken
2.
momentarily.
7.
Okay.
Jeez.
You're walking around, kind of looking at stuff. You're flying over, trying to see if there's anything from the air you can see.
I ain't seen nothing.
Yeah. Jody, you're kind of knocking around the smokehouse and looking at what's there. You pull the floor up. There's nothing there. The big stone pedestal extends down into the floor. And you kind of lean against it at one point, trying to look around, and the top of it kind of moves. And so you're like, what's going on here? And so you kind of push on it, and you notice that it seems like the top is going to swivel and come off. So you swivel it off, and lying underneath the pedestal where the smoke, and you would put all your wood chips and stuff like that, there's a wooden chest about this big.
Della, you found a chest!
There is more.
It's got a lock on it. You can pick it.
Can I pick it up? Is it too heavy to carry?
What's your
I don't
might?
know how to strength works.
what's your might?
Show me your might.
Make me a might roll.
I don't have might.
Make me a might roll.
Okay.
You're +0.
And we're back.
Wow.
-1.
Okay, when it counted.
Too heavy to lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too heavy.
We'll call Volt.
I'm saying fold. I'm gonna shout. I don't know if he has good hearing or not.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, you hear
Resident
Della
special.
yelling for you from the
I
smokehouse.
guess everybody could hear me, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll come
you
running
swoop
like, what's
in,
the matter?
Yeah.
What happened?
I'll go back to normal stuff and
She's
try to pick it up.
seems like she's pivoted the top off of this smokehouse pedestal, where you would put the wood chips to smoke stuff, and there's a honest to God treasure chest sitting right there. It's a wooden chest with iron bands on it and stuff like that. It's probably this big.
And it's locked?
Yeah, it seems to be. Give me a mic
With my
check.
claws.
Mm.
Yeah, that's normal fingers. Yeah, come
I
on.
honestly thought you were just going to karate chop the chest.
Just chop it in half. Yeah. Well, hopefully there's no healing potions in there that I can break.
Yeah, probably not.
Um,
In healing potions, this guy's got you covered. Take your finger, you right across the lock that's on it, the padlock, and it just separates. And it kind of, one of the pieces breaks, and you pull it off. You know, open it.
wait, I check for trap. No, yeah, I open it.
Investigation check.
No, I'll just open it. I'll take the brunt.
You open it. It's full of gemstones.
Nothing but dirt in here.
Red gemstones, green, orange, blue.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah. Red, green, orange, blue. You're not sure how many. Probably around
This is not dirt.
several hundred. I mean, you're looking at it going, that's and they're anywhere from pinky finger sized to thumbnail sized. You gonna grab it? It's It's heavier than they want to carry, but not any kind of problem for you.
I'll pick it up.
The wooden chest it's got iron bands on it. It seems to be in reasonably good shape, but it's got all kinds of gems in it. You carry it down to the boat. And open the top, and Captain Ron goes, "Wow." Antoine goes, "Wow," and Travis goes, "Wow," because it's a lot of money. And so Captain Ron goes, "All right, Antoine, will follow me." So you guys,
We should ask him if he
So,
had
so
if he
I
had a
guess
truck.
we have the dump truck
yeah.
going
Yeah.
to the shop then.
Yeah,
Do they
you
know
can
to
do
go
that.
to
Yeah,
the
you're gonna need a
Captain
dump
shop?
truck or the trash truck or something.
something.
Yeah. You head back to Captain Ron's. Takes you probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to get back to Captain Ron's because the boats are going noticeably slower than when you first took off. You get back to the dock, pull the boats in, tie them off. Your buddy is texting you back and forth. He shows up with literally an honest to God, trash truck. And you get to start loading the stuff in there. It takes you probably 2 hours to load stuff in the trash truck. It's huge. And again, these trash trucks could probably handle them pretty well. They can handle probably around 15,000.
Anybody looking around? I want to be on alert, making sure nobody's
Yeah.
watching us.
Well, the
or
trash truck
laying
guy's
around
gonna
too
know.
much.
The trash truck guy's
No, that's
gonna
fine.
Yeah.
Any other
There's going to be a
outsiders?
trail
Nah,
of people
nobody
we've
really.
got to pay
It's about
off.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. Most people are off at mass or sleeping off their Saturday night,
And
whatever.
Captain Ron's wasn't like in a big
No.
metropolitan area.
No, he wasn't. He was kind of in a
It's a
little area.
metairie.
You get everything loaded onto the trash truck, and Antoine says, "So, 25%?"
Yeah, that's the deal.
He says,
I don't know
"Okay."
what that is of all this.
Yeah.
Right. He says
might have to look a little bit more
25%,
than
and
25%.
he goes over to kind of looks at it. He and Travis grab several large piles of gold.
I'll
and
help them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we'll help him
it looks like
Sass
it's
him up.
maybe 1,000 pounds of gold. It's not really 20.
That's not a lot compared to.
That's not 25% because you
Yeah.
got 15,000 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Compared to 7
We're
tons,
doing-
that's
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
a
We
lot.
need to make sure we
He
get
grabs
them there.
1,000 pounds of gold,
25%.
puts it on the boat, and says, "Far as I'm concerned, we're even." And hops on the boat.
I don't feel
Antoine,
good about this.
Come on.
It's not a greedy man.
What about your family? Your extended family.
1,000 pounds of gold. We're good. And he gets on the boat, starts the engine. He's like 1,000 pounds of gold.
We're
We're gonna
starting a
have those
fund.
gemstones.
My eyes go
Yeah.
dollar
Like a college
sign.
club for Travis.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. No, hang on.
I think they might
Just
have
to
that
give
covered.
you an idea of how much money this is, you got 14,000 pounds of gold. Okay. There's 16 ounces in a pound.
Familiar.
An ounce of gold at this point went for around $1,200.
Oh my God.
So, quick calculation. Okay.
Lots.
This is
You
a
have
dangerous amount.
you have approximately $300 million in gold.
So that's your
Yeah.
cut before the
insane.
gems.
Well, this thing is turning.
And you haven't even looked at the gems. Let's say
I'm not
resources.
breathing a word to my sister.
No lie. That's probably
Okay.
I don't know.
No.
And we're not starting at my place because she's watching
Guys,
my joint.
we gotta think about storage. Now, it's not a bank,
But
but the church has a vault.
I was thinking that.
If we take it to the church, they're gonna know we have all this money.
I'm gonna tie that
It
as
doesn't matter,
mine
they're
anyway.
pious. They're not
They're
going
going
to
to
use it.
expect 10% tithe from those people who are good Catholics.
They can have 10% of 300 million.
You're right.
Screw it.
So, are
I don't
you
know. I think most churches.
are you going to contact Deacon Fontainebleau?
Oh,
then?
God.
Well,
do we
only if
want to?
everyone agrees to it. I just
Whoa.
feel like, as of right now, we don't
Are there any
have
angles?
the most secure options. I think that maybe to be safe, small caches of it should be divvied up and hidden in different places. You
I
know,
think that's a good idea.
fallback money in case something happens.
Do you want to store it in the church? I mean, you know Deacon Fontainebleau is not going to take you to Goldblum.
I will contact Deacon Fontainebleau.
He, within a couple minutes,
He's used to this.
he
Church
texts you back
home.
and says, what can I help you with, Miranda?
Like,
Do
well,
not do this over text. In person.
I need to. Smart. I need to speak with you in person on a matter.
Grave important.
Yeah, that fancy wordage.
Can you meet me at Captain Ron's?
Actually, he says, can you meet me at Cafe Du Monde?
Forget it.
I will
Forget
say-
it. Nothing. You can carry one
Possibly
brick with you.
somewhere more private? Question mark.
You ought to meet him at Lafitte's blacksmith shop, just because it's kind of
I mean,
brings it full
just-
circle.
I will
Let's
totally
tie it up.
send him the address to Lafitte.
He says, okay,
Oh, wow.
that's
Yeah,
Lafitte's
that's a good
blacksmith
idea.
shop. He says, I don't think they're open until 10, so we'll meet at 10.
Yep.
Perfect. So
The guy who drives the trash truck says that he can pull up to Lafitte's. Lafitte's opens in about an hour. It'll probably take you guys 30, 45 minutes to get there. You got to drive the Impala
I just
anyway.
asked the deacon
Yeah.
of my
Um,
church to meet me at a bar.
Who's that?
It takes you about 45 minutes to drive down to Lafitte's and also to get the trash truck through there. The guy who's driving it says he'll kind of pull around the corner, kind of stay out of sight. You know, is anybody going to stay with the guy with the gold?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I am definitely staying with the guy with the
There
I'll
too.
stay there too.
Probably not a bad idea.
I am on like Eagle Eye.
Yeah, you head to Lafitte's. You're out of the bottom of the boat. You got probably a couple hours sleep, so you know. So you guys are hanging with the gold. You're going to meet Deacon Fontainebleau. You go inside Lafitte's. Same girl who you recognize from behind the counter before. She sees you and says, "Water and sweet tea."
Yes.
And she says, "Yeah, wherever you want to sit. It's kind of slow. It's Sunday." And she slides you a water, slides you a sweet tea. And you see Deacon Fontainebleau sitting ironically at the table where Lafitte's
Yes.
ghost always sits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I will wave, walk over. Yeah, first, I want to look around. Is there like?
You guys have the run of it.
Oh,
There's
okay.
nobody here on a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock.
So-
Everybody's sleeping it off. Yeah.
I go like. This is hard to explain. I'm gonna pull out the map.
Yeah.
And be like,
God.
look, so this is where it all started.
She's just so proud of the map.
No, maybe
she
she
has
should
to
be.
explain.
I mean,
She
It
should.
has-
You
It's
should
paid
be.
off at
I
this
mean,
point.
that was.
and then I'm going to drop my sock full of
He
gemstones.
takes the sock and he says, "This is sweaty. Have you been wearing this?"
And swimming in it in some dubious water.
Oh.
So
Well, what have you got in here? And he opens the sock and dumps it out, and the gems just spill across. And he goes, "Are these real?"
I think they are. And then
That's a
there's
lot of money.
This, and I kind of under the table.
Clunk.
Yeah.
No, under
And you handed it
I
to.
was gonna kind of like slap it in his hand, sort of
says-
discreetly.
Is this gold?
It is.
So, where did you get this?
Oh, just on a hidden island protected by magical wards. So what we were wondering is
Yeah,
if
that's accurate.
We all turn to skeletons now. during the daylight.
He looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and says, "I do want to hear the full story, but maybe not at a bar. So, why did you call me?"
so incidentally, you know, there's about 14,000 pounds more of this, and we don't really have a secure location for it. And
He says, "Wait, okay, hold on. 14,000 pounds. That's enough gold to."
it's at least $1 million.
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Miranda's is very bad at
Okay,
math.
so if I understand right, you're looking for a secure place to store it, and
It's
knowing
almost
that the-
enough to make, say, like an oven about yay big about this.
And this
Well, he said. Well, he looks at you and he says, "Well, actually, I was thinking we could buy a small country and maybe the Eastern Bloc area, and that would be about right." But yes, okay. So, what you wanted to store it where?
I was thinking in the church vault. Obviously, we would tithe.
He says, "Well, that's really not what we use the church for." He says, "Look, I have a friend who runs a bank. He's got
A bank!
he's got an
Oh.
honest to goodness vault, and really that's kind of more his line of work.
But you gotta find
I
the
would
right
need
one.
you to stop. I would need. She said, "I was like, oh, a bank," and then just this look on her face is like, "Man, if only we thought of a bank."
He says, "Look,
I didn't trust the bankers.
I know, yeah.
I didn't trust the bank either.
I wouldn't either, yeah." He says, "Look," he reads it to my
That's why I
friend.
didn't say it.
He says, my friend's name is Thomas Thibodeau.
Thomas Thibodeau, okay?
He runs the
There. Shit.
the Canal Street National Bank.
Okay.
I guess
It's near I-10, and he says, "Tell him that Deacon Fontainebleau sent you, and he'll work something out with you." Yes, sir.
And this is a trustworthy.
Yeah. I
the
wouldn't
up and
send
up
you to
fella.
anybody who I didn't trust. He's a parishioner. I've known him for years. He says, "Why don't you go talk to him? He's expecting you. If you are interested, he'll keep the gold for you."
I mean, I'm okay with that. I think we would have
I'm
to talk
assuming we'll have to open up
to
an
the
account
rest of
with
the.
him.
I mean, honestly, I'm content
You're gonna
with
have
this.
to.
You are.
You're working it
Because-
out with, well, you're not.
Yeah.
He says, "Okay, so
I
I
don't
assume
know.
you're
I don't
gonna
know.
transport it up there."
No, nothing. I know nothing.
As long as that's okay with the rest of my compatriots,
Of course.
then yes.
Well, good. Wow. Well, congratulations, I guess, to both of you. And so he kind of, shakes both your hands. He's kind of looking a little puzzled. You don't see that kind of, gems and gold every day. And he says, again, talk to Thomas. Thomas will figure something out of what you can do. So he says, all right, great. And he gets up. You notice that he's actually drinking a beer. And he finishes his beer and walks over, puts it on the thing, slides the lady a couple dollars or something like that, and heads out. So, yeah, you going to head to the Canal Street National Bank?
Well, I'm gonna go and run this by them first.
Right.
But on the way, I almost just sort of slap Darwin on the shoulder and be like, "What a week!"
What are you going to tell
He
him?
falls over because he's tired.
Nah, he's
I'm just kidding.
That being said, though, while we head out, I could just order a drink for Lafitte, right? Like I just
You
like,
could.
hey, just go ahead and put one on there.
He normally only appears after dark, though. Ghosts...
Around this time, go ahead and throw a drink at this.
Vodka's good at any temperature, so it can sit out and wait.
The problem is that ghosts, sunlight tends to make them go
Yeah,
wibbly
fair
wobbly.
enough.
So yeah, you probably need to come back tonight and buy him a drink.
That's fine.
Yeah.
By this time, I assume that we were worth the truck with everyone else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Starts to tell everybody about the idea to store it in a bank vault.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Deacon
yeah.
Fontainebleau has.
Bank vault.
Yeah, right?
Perfect idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why we didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of pile
didn't
into
trust
the trash truck and the Impala. Start heading towards the Canal Street National Bank. It takes about 15 minutes to the Canal Street Bank. You kind of pull up there in your trash truck, and a guy comes out of the bank. He's dressed in a suit. He says, "You can't park that here.
I knew that was
You
gonna
can't
happen."
park the trash truck here." And the guy behind the wheel's like, "He's right, I
The
can't."
guy.
I hop out.
Wait. Is the guy? Okay, I'll
There's a guy
follow him
driving.
out.
Yeah, there's a
Who
guy
is
driving.
the guy who came out? He is just a bank attendant.
Well, he's a
or
bank
guard?
attendant or something. Yeah, no, this
Okay.
looks like a guy in a suit. You hop out and
And I flick the shades, I put them on, and I put my arm around him like, look, we're here to make a deposit.
okay.
So what's your name, sir? Good sir.
My name is Scott. I work at the bank.
We're looking for a Thomas Thibodeau.
The owner. Okay.
See you around?
He's expecting
I'm
us.
sure he's at work.
He is expecting
He
us.
is. He's okay. Remember, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
So the banks aren't open.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So he says,
He's supposed to be either here or on his way here to meet us.
no, he's here. He's in his office.
Oh, okay.
So who told you to
Deacon
look for
Fontainebleau
Thomas?
sent
Yeah,
us.
Deacon Fontainebleau.
Oh,
Said-
hold on. Let me go get Thomas. And he goes back, unlocks the door, steps inside, leaves you guys on the sidewalk.
I was gonna stay with the truck anyway.
About 5-10 minutes goes by. This gentleman comes out. He looks
Thought you were
very
about to just punch him.
Cajun, kind of olive skin,
what?
dark hair. Got a little bit salt or pepper grays at the
takes
temples. Full head of hair. Clean shaven.
I'm not a
Nice suit. I mean, you wear suits when you play gigs. You probably, I don't know if any of the rest of you wear suits. This guy's suit probably looks like it costs more than most of your rent for a month. And so he's wearing the nice suit. And he comes out and he
get my
says,
suits from Canada.
Thomas Thibodeau. Shakes hands
Nice
all
to meet
around.
you.
He says, Deacon Fontainebleau said you had a deposit to make. Maybe like you might need some, Scott's not there anymore. He said discretion was important. So what kind of deposit are we talking about? Open the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Roughly 27 cubic feet of gold.
He looks at you and says,
That's about 14
You're-
tons.
You're wait, 7 tons.
14,000?
He says,
7 tons,
pounds.
14,000 pounds. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
and so you take me around the back, and the guy in the front goes,
Miranda's bad at that.
and the back opens up, and
You know,
here's
we
this
definitely don't.
pile of gold, and he goes, "Oh, you're not kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
There's
a
a
real thing.
How much
couple
take the
$1 million
chest and,
in there
don't
for
We're
forget
gonna
you.
need some carts."